Hey, good morning and welcome to Breakthrough Walls. I'm Ken Walls and I'm your host. And today I have the Ohio State University Buckeye, Cie Grant, who we're going to talk about some amazing things. The championship game of '02, his career with the NFL and playing for the New Orleans Saints and not Pittsburgh. Don't understand that one, but and I'm kidding. So hey, you guys, do me a favor, share this out right now. Let's get some people on here and let's hear Cie Grant's story. Stay with us. All right, let's get Mr. Cie Grant on here. Cie, welcome to the show, man.
What's going on, Ken? Good to be here.
Dude, like I've only had one other NFL, maybe two NFL guys on, and which isn't as impressive as the fact that you played for the Ohio State University.
That's right.
But it's still impressive. I mean, the NFL is a big deal.
It is next level.
and look at this. This is my buddy Victoria. She lives down in Louisiana, man. She's right outside of she's right outside. She's trying to convince me to come down there and eat crawfish, man. I was like,
food is great.
Crawfish. You ever have crawfish?
Yes. You got to take the head off, and I mean, there's an art to it.
I know people that suck the brains right out of the dang thing.
I don't do that. I try to go about the right way.
No. So see, first off, thank you for being on the show. Second, I've gotten to know you over the last few weeks since Mindy Dreyer introduced us. She's a rock star.
She definitely is.
And so, we've gotten to know each other. You're a good dude. Why don't you start with telling everybody where you were born and raised?
Okay. First of all, Ken, I appreciate you having me on this morning. I was born in Dover, Ohio, and I was raised in New Philadelphia, Ohio. It's along Northeast Ohio. I grew up in Amish, out towards the Amish country, Sugar Creek area. So I had a very unique upbringing, to start my life. And, when I look back, I'm 41, I'll be 42 within a couple of weeks. When I look back throughout my journey from my start to where I'm at right now, I think I have a very unique story that needs to be told. And that's why I appreciate this opportunity to be here today.
Well, so we tried, just anybody watch, we tried this last week. Right. And had some technical issues, so we're kind of going to start back at the top here for those that didn't see it. But I think what's interesting, and you can tell you were raised out in the sticks, man. You said Sugar Creek.
Sugar Creek, Stone Creek.
People call it Creek in other parts of the world.
Right. Well,
but that's just the way it is, man. So you grew up and yes, it's Amish. It's definitely Amish country. I grew up in an Amish part of Ohio too, different part, not over there. I was on the other side of Ohio, but and you see the horse and buggies going up and down the road everywhere all the time, right?
Horse and buggy, yield sign on the back.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, for those that don't know, that part of Ohio is just beautiful, man. Rolling hills everywhere. It's beautiful over there.
Definitely is.
Yeah. So
especially, Ken, this time of year with the fall, the leaves are changing. I mean, it's like an oasis.
Victoria's like no electricity, goats, the whole night. That wasn't how you grew up. It was Victoria. The area he grew up in. There's a lot of Amish over there. A lot.
There is.
So you, what was it like though? Because that's a small town. I mean, how many people were in your graduating class?
Ooh,
Probably not many.
I would say maybe close to 1,000. I may be giving us too much.
That many.
I mean, New Philadelphia is a little different than out in the Garaway Highland area, but I mean, it's all a small town. We all pretty much grew up the same way. The thing that I really liked about my hometown is I learned about my family not only through growing up in those four walls at 1214 Cotterley, but as I was growing up, it's one of those towns to where someone will see you at, a marketplace and say, hey, you must be CH's grandson, one of those type of things, just generations of a lot of the same names. And, people generally stick, to that hometown area, but it's a great place to raise kids and to start a family.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you graduate. Now, we talked a little bit about this before, but you played football in high school, right?
Correct.
Did you play were you born with a football in your hands? I mean, is it something that you've always kind of you were obsessed about growing up?
I tell you, we were a church going family on Sundays. And so, I was one of those kids always looking at the clock, knowing that, around between 12:30 and 1, we need to get home. So my love basically came through watching the Browns, Northeast Ohio, Bernie Kosar, Kevin Mack, Ernest Biner, Webster Slaughter, the whole nine. So when you had that going on, and I believe I was in like first or second grade, we had Ozzie Newsome and Frank Minifield come to our school.
Wow.
What was so weird about that, I got a picture with Ozzie when I was like, well, hold on. I got a picture with Mr. Newsome when I was about 6 or 7 years old. So during the draft process forward, coming out of the Ohio State, I go in with an interview with the Baltimore Ravens. And I let him know, like, hey, you doing what you did there in Cleveland, you had my attention, and it was just an honor. I know I did not go to the Ravens, but just to see him and share that story with him, man, it just lets you know that
wow,
your story can happen.
Wow, that's amazing. So I mean, I'm not a Browns fan, dude. I'm sorry, but my wife was born in Cleveland. Her dad's from so her brother is a huge Browns fan, and I'm a Steelers fan. So you
were letting me know that. I battle it. I'm still going through it because I'm the only one in my household who's a Browns fan, and the rest of them are Steelers. So they gave me.
I mean, it sounds like you have a pretty intelligent household then.
They sound like you.
and I'm gonna pray for you. So I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Oh, no, I'm playing, man. But I mean, dude, I grew up in the 70s, and we had Lynn Swann, Terry Bradshaw.
Right.
I mean, it was crazy, man. So, but it's always been a fun rivalry between the Browns and I think the fans take it a little too far sometimes, man. Hey. I mean, it gets a little.
Hey, I was in Pittsburgh. It was a couple years back for a game, and I don't know why this guy did this, but he brought his decked out truck, Cleveland Browns colors, the whole nine. He's up there on the North Shore. These Steelers fans, man, they're going in coolers. I'm talking about, you talk about putting dents into the truck.
I know, man. It's crazy.
Your baby at home.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that, man. I wouldn't even wear a jersey to that game. But so I think that so growing up for you, you were all about the Browns, watching the NFL. You're right down. I mean, where you grew up is maybe an hour and a half from the NFL Hall of Fame, right?
Oh, it's not even an hour.
Is it not an hour?
No, we all used to take field trips there, so you get pretty acquainted with it. Quickly.
I mean, so you grew up with it in your blood. I mean,
yeah, and then you got to understand, I have family members too that came before me that played and got me, into it. And then also, a lot of people don't know this, but I had a teammate, Kenny Peterson. He and I are cousins that played on the national championship 2002 Buckeyes. So being athletic, playing football, doing sports was big in my family, still is big. So it was just something that I gravitated towards. So, and I was able to be a ball boy early for the varsity team as a youngster. So that also helped get me going.
That's awesome, dude. So you ended up after high school. What happened? How did you end up playing for the Buckeyes, man? I mean, I know that obviously you're in Ohio. The Buckeyes, it's a pretty cool team to play for.
It is.
How did that happen? I mean, you come from high school right into the Buckeyes. You were just that good. What happened?
No, there was a journey to get to the Ohio State. I don't want to just hit on all the high points.
Right.
I really had a journey. I didn't, I thought small-minded, growing up. I wanted to be, I was very competitive. I knew that early on. I just wanted to be the best from around my area. And it was one of those things to where that was the motivation. Some of those old ghost records uncles had, cousins had. I just wanted to be able to sit around Thanksgiving and kind of just hold my own.
Yeah.
So as a sophomore,
like I beat your record, uncle.
Right. So as a sophomore, Tennessee's head coach, I believe at the time, Philip Former, he hand wrote me a letter and sent me and was, talking about the University of Tennessee.
As a sophomore in high school?
That was right after my sophomore season. I got a letter. And again, Ken, at the time, I wasn't thinking like that. I was like, whatever. I'm not, where's Tennessee? I'm not going to Tennessee.
Where's Tennessee, right? They got more hills.
Right. So after my sophomore year, I had a chance to really just talk to my parents about my future. And when they asked me what I was going to do, I was clueless. I knew I did not want to stay at home. I didn't even know if I wanted to go to college. I was more of, hey, I just want to get a job and start working. And my mom and dad were like, no, you're gonna think this through. So believe it or not, it was going into my junior year. I got a call from Michigan State. Nick Saban was the head coach at the time. And I think that trip to East Lansing changed my life. I know it changed my life. I had my mom and dad with me. And at this time, I'm a big fish in a small pond. So you couldn't really tell me anything. I sat there and I had my mom to my right, my dad to my left. And Nick Saban looked us all in the eyes and said, you can be a great talent. And he was saying, you can do this, you can do that. And then it hit the brakes, but it'll never happen. Your grades suck.
Oh, no. Nick Saban?
Yeah, your grades are terrible. You're there with mom and dad, and I'm like, I've already heard this from them. But, it let me know at that time, like, okay, you got to start taking yourself serious if you want someone to take you serious.
Yeah.
And from that point, Ken, man, I was on an uphill swing. It was a tough road. I mean, I was retaking classes as a, summer school. So when class started my junior year, I went to school year round until I graduated high school. To get aligned with the clearinghouse and everything.
So you didn't have summers.
No, I was going to school in Massillon. I was going up to a summer school, and my dad would literally, he worked in a steel mill. And he played no games. And he would take me right out to 77 and say, hey, take your tail up there, and I'll see you when you get home. It was say what you mean what you say. So commitment just to get my grades intact to really have a chance to go to college. And so that was the journey.
So Nick Saban, and that's when he was with Michigan State.
Correct.
I actually know D'Antonio, that's Michigan State now, but so I know his brother. But so he fired you up. He got through to you, and you realized, okay, I gotta get this straightened out. So you ended up turning it around.
Correct.
And you went to Michigan State.
Listen, I'll tell you how it all worked out. Listen, I did not go to Michigan State. They helped me come up with the plan to have a chance.
Yeah.
I grew up a Michigan fan. So that was
I gotta pray for you. All right,
yeah.
keep going.
But I grew up. That was where I wanted to go. I was like, that's
really to Michigan.
To Michigan.
Wow.
To Michigan. So I had Michigan State helping me get my stuff together. I had all the people around me in school who were Buckeye fans, and I'm a Michigan Wolverine fan.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
So throughout this journey, the junior year of high school goes by, you get more and more interest throughout the college teams.
Yeah.
So here I am. Oh man. Coach Cooper has a bunch of us come in, a bunch of us recruits come into town. I think it was like a junior day type deal. And I had a chance to really meet some good guys like Ryan Pickett, Nate Clements, and those guys. And I think when we left there was another time to just be motivated. Like, because I was in the dumps, Ken, man. Like I was retaking classes. When I was a senior, man, I was taking senior English and then going back, and my brother was a sophomore. I was in sophomore English. So I think meeting those guys and just kind of hearing their journeys and some of the things that they were up against, it helped me get going.
Look at this comment my buddy Joe put up.
Hey, I'll tell you though, there was I took a trip up to Michigan. This is when it all fell apart for them. Coach Lloyd Carr had me come up, and I had a chance to meet the staff, and that was right when Charles Woodson was at his height. Ty Law. And honestly, man, outside of the beautiful brick buildings that they had, when I got into the football part of it, man, they lost me. And I think
in Michigan,
Michigan, I had a great talk with Coach Bo. I thought that had me fired up, and just knowing the history, because again, I think I told you last time, Coach Woody Hayes, coached at my high school. So I talked to Coach Bo.
Did he coach you?
No.
No. That would have been no. I'm sorry. My ears are messed up. All right. You're like, when I was 80. No,
right.
Yeah.
But no, man, he had me fired up, but it just didn't feel right. When I went through, I saw the Woodson jerseys. It just did not feel right. And I left there really disappointed. And I told my mom and I said, man, I really wanted to go here, and this just didn't feel right. And I always, I had Coach Jim Roman, who was on the New Philadelphia coaching staff at the time, and he was the kicker for the Buckeyes in '68. Last time they won a national championship, so he was on my high school staff. So after that, after I kind of gave up on the Michigan, I was like, all right, I'm all in with Michigan State, and Coach Jim Roman, he had a talk with me before I called them back, and he was like, listen. It's the Ohio State. That's where you be. Like, you can't do this. You got to go.
What are you doing? Right.
And, so
thank God for Coach Jim Roman. I mean, come
Fred
on.
Puckage and John Cooper. I said they made me a rock star coming to my high school, coming out to the sticks.
Wow.
So, but no,
John Cooper came out there?
John Cooper, Fred Puckage, the whole nine.
Wow.
Yeah. But man, the whole recruiting process, Ken, it's tiring. I know from my position, because my parents, man, I came from humble beginnings. If I wanted to go to a university or, school like that, it was going to be tough financially to put that on my parents. So I understood that, I'm an athlete, but this is a vehicle to go on to better things. I always knew that my mom and dad wanted that, for all their children. So I took it serious, ended up going to the Ohio State, and the number one thing at Ohio State that stood out to me was excellence. I was on the oval lawn, and I was like, man, they want to be excellent at everything. Everything, not just football, but everything. And I was like, I need this. I need that. And so from there, it was just being around masterminds, I call them. Mark D'Antonio is a mastermind. Jim Tressel is a mastermind. Luke Fickle is a mastermind. Mel Tucker. All these guys who you have a chance to, interact with. The John Tenutas, the Fred Puggages. And so if I understood not a lot of people from my hometown or from my area had that opportunity to sit in those team rooms. And so I felt like I had everything on my back, Ken. And so I soaked it all up. Just Go ahead.
And so when did you started, because you were on the championship team in 2002.
Correct.
Was that your senior year?
Yes, that was my last year.
Okay. So you started at Ohio State in what, 98?
98. So I redshirted in 98.
Okay. So you started in 98. John Cooper was the coach, but he wasn't the coach when you won the championship.
Correct.
So when did that transition occur? 2000, 2001?
That happened right after the 2000 season.
Okay.
Right after the Outback Bowl, that would have been right after the Outback Bowl.
Yeah.
So it was like the 2001, I believe, Outback Bowl, going into that 2001 season. And that
I've always wondered, what's it like being a player, and you've had a coach for a couple of years, whether everybody loved John Cooper or not, he was your coach, he helped recruit you.
Correct.
And then you got the new kid on the block coming in,
Yeah.
Jim Tressel, and you're like, who's this guy? Right?
Yeah, it is. It's a lot different. I'll tell you what, though, I grew up in Ohio, so I understood how important it was to beat the team up north. And let's face the facts. Coach Cooper didn't have a problem winning football games. He had a problem winning that game, and that's the game.
If you don't win that game, you ain't going to stay the coach.
No, you're not. You're not. And Coach Earl Bruce, I think, put it best once when I had an opportunity to talk to him, just from a coaching standpoint when you're in that rivalry. So I know when we made the change, it was different. Coach Cooper had been there a number of years. I mean, I think 13, 14 years. I may be off. It may be longer than that. So, again, it was a shock. But I think, the state of Ohio, the great state of Ohio, was thirsty for that win and for a turnaround against our rivals. And so, when they brought Coach Tressel in, it was different. I remember some of the names floating around, and the big thing off top was, hey, the Ohio State is different than Youngstown State. You know what I mean? There's levels to it.
Oh yeah.
But when you had an opportunity to meet the man, live and living color, it was a different ball game. I realized this guy knows not just football, but he knows life. He's been around the block. And so again, the transition of having him come in was much needed, because when you're at the Ohio State, you can get caught up in wins and losses. And a lot of people get ate up. When I say people, I mean the young men and women who are, competing at this level. You get ate up in that gauntlet. And it's a business. That's what you learn. It's not just about fun anymore. It's a business. Coach Tressel, on the flip end, had a way of massaging that, meaning we all met with him for like 1 hour prior to the season starting in 2001.
One-on-one, you mean?
One-on-one. I mean, from the top to the very bottom.
Wow.
And so you're thinking that you're going to go in there and talk football. Never once talk football. Talk life. Talked about what your plans are. If football doesn't work out, what is it that you want to do? If football does work out, it's short term. What is it that you're going to be? And, start installing the block of life, the winner's manual. And that right there stimulated us young men in a different way, because we realized that whether the NFL worked out or not, we were prepared to be successful in life and to use those key tools, learning tools that we learned along those gauntlet, blood, sweat, and tears days there on campus, and also there at the Woody Hayes facility, but to transition that into all different areas of life so that you could be a winner in everything.
And I'm just going to make this point. Jim Tressel, Coach Tressel, he's not fronting. Like, he doesn't have to, he didn't have to do that at all. He could have brought the whole team together and said, go out there and win, and especially the team up north. Right.
But just look at everything about him. I think he's a thinker, And I was talking to him not too long ago, a couple of weeks back, and I told him, I said, the language that people need to know in life, it's not English, it's not Spanish, it's not this, that, and the other. It's the language of people. That's what Jim Tressel knows. That's what Coach Jim Tressel knows. You put him in a room with a group of people, and before you know it, they're going to gather around him. because he's a leader. He's been through a lot in his life, but he's used all that and geared it towards something positive. And when you can learn from your wins and your losses and then be able to put that and convey that to someone else so that they can learn along their journey, now that's when you're brilliant. That's when you're doing beautiful things. That's when you're walking in your mission in life. So
how blessed do you feel knowing that? I mean, dude, he was your coach. Like he was.
Oh man.
I mean,
coach, the president of a university. I mean, like I said, you put him on any stage, any walk of life, and the man figures it out. And he makes you think. There's nothing given. You know, one of his sayings that still sticks with me till this day is, "You get as your works deserve." And he and I talked about that one time, and there's a plus and a negative to that. You know, you get as your works deserve if you're working hard. You get as your works deserves if you're slacking. You know, it's almost like being a leader. Everyone associates being a leader with a positive person, but you can lead people wrong and still be a great leader. And so he was able to get us to tap into something much bigger than just football. It was about life. It was about feeling life, taking in this moment and doing something great. I told him, I said, you know, to come in the way he did at that basketball game in front of those fans, you know, the Buckeye faithful, Buckeye Nation, and predict in the next amount of days we're going up there to handle business. That's a program changer right there.
Yep.
And then to do it, come on.
I mean,
set you up for a national title, I guess, the following year, huh?
Dude, that team up north hated Tressel.
Oh man, they're gonna hate everybody here soon. I don't think they've got a win in like 2 decades.
Oh, Lord have mercy. And then Michigan State smoked them last week. So.
My guy, Mel Tucker.
There's a buddy.
I can just hear him now. Hey, Cos.
Good friend of mine right there. Laura, you sent me that video for her son. Remember?
Yes.
That's her. Yes. That's Laura. She's
hello, Laura.
Spartans fan up there. But yes, so you end up at the Ohio State University. You're playing football there. You start out with Cooper for a couple of years, then Tressel comes along and just he brought a big old can of whoop ass with him. Let's just be real. And kind of really turned not that we were doing horribly bad, but I mean, things changed when he came on the scene. So what was it like? What happened? Because I know Maurice Claret, were you guys the same year, or was he a little younger than you?
No, I mean, he came in my last year. So
okay.
His first year was 2002.
Oh, that's okay.
So he was there, Coach Truss's second year.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Yeah. So what was it like, man? I mean, what did you feel a big shift with the team and the energy in that first year with Tressel?
Yeah, I think it was a transitional period. I don't want to say it was the honeymoon period because Coach Tressel really came in and understood what it is that we needed. And I think looking back, he wanted to get to know us as people. That way, it's like a relationship. You have to build trust. You have to know who you're in it with. And you want to know them people-wise. You just don't want to know, the obvious. Yeah, they're a freak of nature. They're great athletes. He wanted to get to know us as people. And I think that was a big change, again, because it's big business. And so when you can conduct big business and still get that small town, like, hey, I know you. It's not just a figurehead. You knew him. And so in that first year, it was a lot of discipline. We need to be more disciplined. I think one of the biggest things that he said was the most important play in football is the punt. Now here we are, we have deep guys on defense, guys on offense, and we're kind of looking like most important play is the punt. But he was consistent with it. And as time played out, we realized that, yes, it is definitely the most important play of football.
The punt.
The punt.
I have never heard that.
Yeah, most important play in football is the punt. You must protect. It can change fields that quick. It can flip the field and momentum that quick. And so I always like that, we had a leader who had already thought it out, from A to Z on what it is that we needed. 2001, I always saw that he didn't fold. There were times in 2001 and 2 where the pressure was cranked up, especially in 2002, the cardiac kids. When you're almost at your breaking point, that's when you look around as a player to kind of look at your leaders and see what's what. And he's always the leader.
Yeah.
And he was cold as ice. It was just like, he knows something, he's concocting something. So let's just get through. And that's a lot of what you need to do in life too. I talk about it even with my tweets. It's not about getting at a tough point in life and along your journey and stopping. The beauty is seeing it through and then looking back and saying, wow, I'm glad that I learned that. I'm glad I endured that. And I'm glad that I'm standing where I'm at right now. So
that's right, man.
Brilliant.
Wow.
Oh, Ken, real quick. I'd be wrong without saying this. I'll show you how God works. On that 1998 Michigan State staff, there was Nick Saban, first-year guy Mel Tucker. We had Mark D'Antonio.
Wow.
We had Jim Bowman on there, on those staffs. I thought about those guys along with Nick Saban when I decided to go to The Ohio State. I always felt bad. I was like, man, you know what? Without those guys and that relationship, I always felt bad. Well, when Coach Tressel came in 2001 and started announcing the staff, he says, we have a secondary coach, Mel Tucker. We got Jim Bowman as my O coordinator and offensive line coach. We got Mark D'Antonio as my D coordinator. I'm like, oh. And then you go and win it a year later. Come on, man.
I know, man. That is some crazy stuff, man. That's the way God works, though, man. You're right. It's crazy. Wow. Amazing. So you and wow, man. Wow. Yeah. So in 01, and I don't want to look, I know football's been your whole life, but football's not your life right now. But I want to talk a little bit about when you were in those 4 years at the Ohio State University. You were, what was your major? How were your academics?
Early on, academics, I was just coming out of high school where, people were on my behind.
So for 2 years.
Early on, I was on it. I wish I had done better. Let's just put it that way. Throughout those 4 years, I think I got caught up in a lot of the hype with the game of football. But I wish I could have done better and taken more out of it. I mean, I went to school and everything, but it was right. My focus, just looking back, because I had a chance later on in life to go to Penn State, and I did. And I was just in a better place. And I was telling Coach Truss, I was like, man, I'm just much better mentally now, taking on this workload than I was, back then during those years. But I was an English major.
People don't realize, though. I mean, there's some fun stuff that goes down on High Street.
Yes, High Street is fun.
How about Mean Mr. Mustard's? Is that before your time?
No, but I've heard stories. Believe me, if it's happened on High Street, there's a story attached to it, and it gets passed along, whether those buildings still exist or not. The story is alive and well.
Oh, it's funny, man. So I can't. I mean, it's got to be tough. I didn't go to college, but I used to hang out down on High Street. I'll say that. But it's got to be tough being. I mean, dude, you weren't just like sitting on the bench. You were a star on the team, and so it's got to be tough for you to be I mean, emotionally, like it's a lot these kids are a lot is put on them, man. They're lifted up on these pedestals. Were you on scholarship?
Yes.
Yeah. So you're on scholarship. You're a celebrity on campus, and I'm
Yeah, there's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of time management.
Yeah.
There's you're being molded. I call it a gauntlet because you can get your ass chewed up very quickly
Yeah.
in the process. And there's a pressure. There's a lot of pressure put on young people. Again, there's pressure to come in. Anytime you have money attached to something,
Yeah.
there's pressure. So that's what a scholarship is. Someone
Yeah.
is funding your education and an opportunity to compete. So you want to stand your ground. I think the pressure is that they're always recruiting. It's never good enough. And I understand that. If you want to be like a blue blood like the Ohio State, you
Yeah.
have to continue to bring individuals in. And a lot of guys can't take that. They're so used to being in high school where the red carpet was rolled out. They're the greatest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
And what you have to understand is that when you come into the Woody, you got a group of dogs waiting for you. We don't get, we don't care about no highlight. We all have highlight reels in high school. We were all that dude. But what are you going to do when you get in here? And
Dude, I love that, man.
So there's guys.
Talk about that all the time. Like, nobody gives a crap about what you did. What are you going to do?
Yeah, that's why I tell my son now who's 15, I'm like, look at these kids, they like to throw that silver bullet helmet in there. Oh, I got 3 schools. One of them's Ohio State, 5, one's Ohio State. I said, that sounds good. I said, but a lot of guys aren't going there in the first place because they understand that it could end. There's a lot of guys who came out of high school who were big dogs and somehow, some way they get on campus and they kind of get a reality check. So just throughout my journey, again, nothing was given to me and I didn't want anything given to me. I don't like being buttered up, so to say. I understood that I need to keep my edge. And so Ken, when I came in 98, it was a veteran group. I came in as a defensive back in 98, and it was a great classroom to be in with Antoine Winfield, the Ahmed Plumbers, the Damon Moores, the Gary Berries, Percy King. There was a number of guys who was involved in that group who were older gentlemen who understood life. I mean, Ahmed was married, guys had kids, a lot of different things were going on. So I understood then that I had to earn my keep. And then throughout my journey, I started getting bigger. I got a little taller, a little bigger. And so I went from coming in as a defensive back, I moved to linebacker for a short period of time. And then that's when Coach Tressel came in 2001. And at that point, I had played, but I hadn't really locked down a position. And that was one of my goals, going into that 2001 camp. And I love that Coach Mark D'Antonio said he was going to play the best 11. And I believed him when he was going to say it. It wasn't just, smoking.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So I worked my tail off, and a couple of things happened before you know it. In 01, I started at corner. And then 02 came back and started at linebacker. So I was very versatile. Yeah. But throughout those times, man, there's high points, there's low points. There's times when you need a hug. There's times when you need a foot in the behind.
Yeah.
But there's times I think some of the best moments are when you're looking yourself in the mirror and you're like, hey, I don't have mom here. I don't have dad here. I don't have all the fans. It's me and you. What are we going to do? Yeah. What are we going to do? So I'm glad that I'm glad I went through it. A lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of tears, a lot of great memories. But I would not be the man I am today. I wouldn't have the outlook that I have on life today if it wasn't for that brotherhood. Yeah. You're going to take something out of there one way or another if you make it to senior day. In the shoe to where the fans get a chance to hear your name that one last time and you go out and you're just like, here we are, man. Here we are.
And that day, are you crying? Are you crying?
Man, yeah. You're thinking about I'm thinking about all I put my parents through. When I'm looking down there and and they're like, Cie Grant. I'm down there, man. I'm looking at my mom on the 50 and my dad. And my mom didn't want me to play football. My mom got cancer and I understand just the blood, sweat, and tears that, man, she put into me. I'm gonna tell you a story, man, because I don't have nothing to hide, man. I can't get past the grades. The grades, even throughout that journey, sucked, man. I can remember one day my mom, Man, I can remember my mom coming on campus, Ken, tears in her eyes. And she said, how in the hell did you miss a final? How'd you come and sit in my house and just skip out on a final? And I saw my mom beg and plead in front of the board to please, if not, I understand C's messed this up, but for me, if you would give him another chance, just please give him another chance for me. So yeah, you think about those things and you think about just the whole upbringing, but I thought about that, and there she is on the 50-yard line with my dad, and you know what I mean? I go and embrace him, and I can remember just saying, just get off the field, get off the field. I was ready. I was ready. Just ready, man. So,
wow.
So
dude,
part of the journey.
It's I remember telling my mom years and years ago, I am sorry for being an asshole kid. I mean, we don't. I have a 15-year-old and an 11-year-old daughters, and I look at and I think, there's gonna come a day. There'll come a day when you're gonna regret.
I'm gonna catch it. I'm gonna catch it a couple different ways, man.
But some of the stuff that comes out of their mouth at their parents, it's like, you're gonna regret that someday. You will. I'm telling you. But they don't get it. You can't tell them. They don't,
man. But in that moment that you didn't get there alone.
Oh no.
The good Lord, and then you always have those people. You hope to have those people who can be there for you. Not everybody's fortunate to have that. So you always need to pay homage to those who are thinking about you when you're not thinking about yourself.
Yeah, no kidding, man. So let's go to the national championship game in 2002, where Ohio State played Miami of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
What dude, I forgot. I told you the other day, I said, I forgot. I mean, 100% of the game, honestly. And so I remember the excitement around it, but I just forgot. So I watched it it's on YouTube. I watched the whole thing. Nice. And I forgot how freaking it was a double overtime freaking game, man. It was crazy. and so I was like, this is insane. And I had forgotten that my buddy Cie Grant was you're the reason that the game ended. You freaking broke through fast, fast, man, and took down the quarterback, man.
Yes, indeed.
And that ended the game. That was it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Ken. You talk about being a part of something great. I didn't have that opportunity in high school to play in the playoffs. So without any playoffs, there's no championships like that. So I think just any senior, especially your last game, you want it to be for all the marbles, so to say. And we had a dream season, that 2002 season.
Hey, look who's on screen right now, real quick.
Mindy.
Love Mindy. She's awesome.
She is awesome. But no, man, lost my track of mind.
Sorry. You had
no. As a senior, you want to be put in that position, especially at a place like the Ohio State. You got to understand, going into that game, that's when the historians come out and they start letting you know hard facts, like the last time the Buckeyes won a national championship was 1968. And you start looking at that time that's gone by, and you realize, like, man, there's some people who have not witnessed a title.
Yeah.
And you think of the 90s, the Cooper teams that, there's a lot of teams throughout the 90s that, were good enough to be national champions, but they did not get past, that team up north. So here we are sitting there in 2002, and so much on the line, but we had been through so much throughout that season. Again, I think I referenced it. We were the cardiac kids. So we had won games in every way, shape, and form. And almost lost some games. But it was all a part of the straightening to get us ready for that moment. And then, you know, we were taking on the previous year's national champ. So when you have a team that's already been to the mountaintop and they're coming back, you know, for that second opportunity at it, you pretty much know, as you know, as the competitor, like, hey, we got to bring it. So the great state of Ohio was thirsty for a national title, man. We had the right mix of guys. I think we had the right guy at head coach, definitely, and Coach Jim Tressel. You look at our defense of staff, you look at Mark D'Antonio, look at what he's went on and done. We had Mel Tucker, we had Mark Snyder, we had Luke Fickle, Jim Haycock, a number of great minds is what I'm talking about to get us prepared. You look at offense, of course, Coach Jim Tressel, you know, calling the plays, Jim Bowman, Tim Spencer. I know I'm forgetting guys, but the whole staff was great. And then again, that cohesive unit of a team that we had. I think we had like the best freshman class come in the country that year, led by, you know, guys like Maurice Claret, AJ Hawk, Bobby Carpenter. Those guys led a class. And then we had a veteran group, you know. We had some fifth-year seniors in key positions defensively, but we just had guys with great experience. And
our quarterback was
Craig Krenzer.
Yeah. Oh my God. One of the smartest guys I think to ever play at Ohio State.
Yeah.
I mean, he was brilliant.
Yeah. I mean, I think his major, I don't even think I can pronounce it, but I knew Craig was something serious when I believe, and, you know, I'm sure I'll hear if I'm wrong on this, but if I'm not mistaken, one time it was like, football's so intense, but it was almost like a relief for him compared to like what he was taking on in the classroom. You know, it was more down to earth. So we had a great leader out there at the quarterback position. Had a great middle linebacker there, and Matt Wilhelm. Of course, we had the consensus All-American and Michael Doss at safety. Greats like Will Smith on the edge, Darian Scott. I mean, Chris Gamble. So we had a very great mix. And then offensively, Maurice Beast had like 3 running backs, a heck of an offensive line. Nick Mangold, whole 9.
Crazy, man.
Douglas. But no, man, when we went into that game, we knew we needed to bring it. And you got to understand, they predicted, like, they had like flyers out for parties prior to the game. Like guys from a year ago who were already in the NFL, they had already planned to kick our behinds and party.
Oh, from Miami?
Yeah. And so, you know, we got wind of that. And at the end of the day, what we wanted to prove is that the Big Ten was not big and slow, that we have big-time athletes who are primed for big-time games. And that's what we did, man. Miami always talks that swag. But Ohio State, we bring game. And that's what happened today. We played a full game and some. And at the end of the day, what I tell you, Coach Tressel said, you get as your works deserve. And I think on that night, we got as our works deserve. The great state of Ohio got as its works deserve. So the best damn band in the land, the whole 9 yards, man.
Everything, man. It was absolutely freaking unbelievable. I mean, it was unbelievable. My wife just posted up here that she was the marketing director at City Center Mall back that in that time period. And she said Coach Tressel brought the whole team to City Center to sign autographs, do fan appreciation. Well, you were there.
I was there. Sure. Loved it. I think we talked about that on the phone the other day.
Yeah. That's so awesome. Yeah.
But
so you I mean, that had to have been, I can't even imagine just as a fan witnessing that as a player, like the next few days had to be like a blur. Like,
it was.
I mean, we did something big. I don't remember what it was, but
I know it was a blur because I don't think I went back with the team.
Oh God!
No, I had fun. I think later on that week when I came to, the Browns and the Steelers were playing. I had a lot of fun, man.
That was in it was in Phoenix, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With
Tempe.
Tempe,
Tempe,
yeah.
Arizona.
That's right. Yeah. Wow, man. So you graduated from Ohio State. And right? I'm assuming
Yeah,
you
that's right.
graduate. Yeah. And then comes the NFL, and you get drafted into the NFL, into the Saints. Is that,
Yeah, New Orleans Saints, 2003.
dude? So what was that like? Like, I mean, how do you go from a national championship into the NFL, and now all of a sudden you're the big man on campus at Ohio State, like you're the man, and then now you're starting over? And I've heard the NFL is like night and day different from college.
It is night and day different. I mean, again, it's just a bigger piece of business.
Yeah.
Now the stakes are bigger. They're investing a heck of a lot more money into you, and it's a dirty business. I mean, I'm sorry, NFL. I mean, I'm on here.
I've heard
We're
that.
going to talk about it, and
Yeah.
so that was the biggest change for me. Again, growing up in New Philadelphia, when you say doctors, those are people who are going to help you. Okay, where I'm from. Okay, so you're going to go in there. You say, "Hey, my leg hurts." Take a look at it. They're going to take a look at your leg. They're going to shoot you straight on the diagnosis, and we're going to move forward. That's not the case in the NFL. In the NFL, they have their team doctors. And I'm not trying to go off on a rant. Early on in my NFL career, suffered an injury. And again, small town guy, all I want is shoot me straight on what I need to do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If I need surgery, then we get surgery. If I can play through it, I can play through it. Give me give me the correct diagnosis. Because with me, I can deal with good, I can deal with bad, I can't deal with uncertainty.
Right.
I don't feel very well with that. And if we lose trust, that's it. I'm like my mom in that. I just don't have time for it.
Right.
And so I saw the uglier side of the NFL. It wasn't the glitz and the glamour. I was a 3rd round draft pick. Much was expected of me. I'll never forget draft day. Like, Jim Haslett's on the phone. He's hyped up. Tom Benson's on the phone. He's hyped up. I get Rick Venturi, who's the D coordinator, on the phone. He's not as happy. I could tell he probably wanted somebody else. And that's
wow.
So when you go into that like that, and then I get injured, and you hear all the craziness. And so
wow.
I made a mistake during my journey. My agent told me at the time, he was like, "See, let's get a second opinion. Don't
on your leg,
on my leg, on my knee, and don't do the surgery." And I was, again, thinking I don't want to say I wasn't thinking from a business standpoint, but I was thinking more of like a warrior. Like, I want to get back out there. I have a lot to prove. I mean, I'm from a small town. I'm from the Ohio State. I have my other guys who I came in with. They're out there playing like.
Who all did you come into New Orleans with?
Well, in that draft class was like Michael Doss came out, Matt Wilhelm, myself, my cousin Kenny Peterson. I'm probably missing some guys, but we had a number of guys come out of that draft in 2003 who were drafted. I know Mike was, because we played the Colts, and I can remember seeing him. But man, it was a dark time for me. I was in New Orleans, loving the food, eating, and man, it was just crazy, man. Like, again, the New Philadelphia in me was like, "Doctor, shoot me straight." And I think once I got at odds with those doctors, my career kind of went downhill from there. And, I love the New Orleans Saints. They made my dream come true. I wish I could have given them more, what I mean? But I ruptured my patella tendon. I ended up rupturing my patella tendon. And maybe guys come back from that now. Every person is different. I wasn't able to. I was never the same. And then mentally was kind of just over it with that particular organization. And I understood that things like that happen throughout. But, I have one of those stories that aren't probably not the best, but you can never take it away from me, that I was
Right.
there, played, I'm vested, I'm a vested player, but it let me know a lot about life.
We got a bunch of people from Louisiana watching right now.
That's fine.
And like Brad and here's and Victoria. But
Who
here's
that?
the thing, dude. Like they know who you are. Like you obviously made a big enough of a splash that they know who you are. They remember you from the
Well,
Saints. So,
I love New Orleans, and
yeah.
like I said, and I love the city. I had a chance to share it with a guy from the Ohio State and Charles Bentley, a late great friend, and Will Smith, who came in the following year behind me, and I know we wanted to do great things there during that time. And it just goes to show that sometimes God has a much bigger plan because I end up seeing it through. I mean, there was a time where I would go through New Orleans and get off a plane and be there a couple hours and just break down and damn near have a nervous breakdown, just crying, just why? Because I wanted to give so much to that city. I wanted to make it home. And so, and then they won the Super Bowl. And I was happy. I'm happy for guys like, Mickey Loomis. I'm happy for guys, Deuce McAllister, and all the guys who were there, during that time. I was happy for Will, Malcolm Jenkins. But, yeah, there was a lot of stuff left on the table there that, I wish could have went better. But, again, that's part of my journey.
It's part of your journey, man. And and it's really sad what happened with Will Smith, man. That's just crazy, man. Were you still there when that happened? Or?
No,
Okay.
No, I wasn't there.
Okay.
But
Wow.
just knowing those areas and understanding what was going on down in the city during that time.
Yeah.
Because there's always festivities.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about New Orleans, man, is the people, the food, and just the culture. And so it's very unfortunate, especially like, and not to speak on it too much, man, but my guy, Will, man, he gave so much to that city outside of football. I mean, anytime there was an event going on, I mean, Monday Night Football or something outside of it, he was there, his family, and he was one of the front guys along with Drew Brees and Malcolm Jenkins, and during that time. So to have something like that happen, period, is terrible and tragic. But to have something happen like that to a guy who really came in and changed, Will was a big part of changing that culture, along with Drew and those guys. So it's very unfortunate. But I do enjoy, on Twitter seeing his son, Will Jr. So I wish him the best and hope that he follows in his father's footsteps, because his father was a monster, man, of a ball player, but even better of a human being. Will was one of those guys I rock with on the field and off. So
that's so awesome. I mean, and to see, I think most people outside of that just watch Sunday football or watch their team, and I mean, dude, you guys, like I told you on a phone call, like I played in 7th and 8th grade, man. I got hit so hard. I think my kids were born with headaches. Like in 8th grade, and I said, "That's it. I am never playing this game again."
Hey, it's not for everyone.
No, man, but it's like I think a lot of people see it as, man, this is freaking brutal, and these guys are nothing but mean, and never want to meet them in a bar. But like, dude, like your heart, I can see it. I think everybody watching can see you've got this beautiful heart, man, and you really. You're coming across like your energy is, and maybe you weren't always like that. I don't know, but dude, you just have a heart of gold, and I can see it. I
appreciate that, Ken. I mean, it's come through a lot of pain and suffering, but I talk about it. I used to ask God to take my pain away, but now I don't. I just ask Him to change my pain. Don't take it away, because I need that pain to be motivated. I need that pain to not go back to places where I once was. So just change it to where I can cope and deal. And like I was telling you early on about Coach Tressel, whenever you can teach someone else. Like God has given me, 6 beautiful children. My oldest is up in heaven with him. My oldest son, Willie the third, but I still have 5 here on earth. My oldest son, Braden, and then my 4 girls. And
Wow.
I tell you about how my grades were horrible, but my kids, man, like they listened to my story, and I was able to instill in them how important it is for them, and so some of those battles we aren't really going through at this time because we've hit it early on, what I mean? And I told them, like, you're going to have your share of adverse situations in this life. But it's all about your approach, and it's all about I'm real big on being genuine and authentic.
Yeah.
Those are the people, like I was telling you, those are the people I want to be around. Genuine, authentic people. You know what I mean? Because there's so many frauds, so many fakes, so many people wanting to be someone else. Like I was telling my wife the other day, I said, how in the hell does people know more business about someone else? And then you ask them about themselves and they go blank. You ever notice? You ever ask somebody like, hey, so what about Ken Walls? And they're like, oh, Ken, da 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 da. So what about you? And they're like, so I'm at the point in my life where I want to get to know myself.
Yeah.
Before I get to know anyone else. And I know you and I have been talking, but we're gonna do some great things.
Dude, and I gotta say thank you to Mindy again, if she's still on here. Like she just knew that we needed to be connected.
Right.
She knows a lot of Buckeyes, dude.
Oh yeah.
I mean, a lot, right?
Mindy's solid, man.
I know.
I can't believe how long, I mean, it seemed like I just met her a year or 2 ago, but man, we've known each other, I know, over a decade now. Plus, I mean,
she's
2 plus decades.
And I gotta give her a plug real fast, man.
Yeah.
Hey, Mindy, I'm reading the book. There's my bookmark. I'm reading it. So
yes, indeed.
She's like, you haven't read that book yet? And I'm like, I'm going to, and it's a great book. So, and she just said on here, she's thankful that you wrote a passage in her book.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, dude, you are so let me ask you this. I have a couple more questions, then we're a little bit over time. You're okay on time, aren't you?
I'm good.
Okay. So, let's talk about what's coming up for Cie. What do you see in Cie's future?
Greatness.
Well, that's obvious, man.
I mean, but no, the big thing is I've had a fire lit underneath me, and I'm ready. You know what I mean? Ken, there comes times where you wish you weren't at a point in life. It's like, man, I can't wait until down the road I'll be there. I'm there. And so it's just a little straightening that I got to do. I got to get out there. I'm a huge introvert. So that has to change. Like I hide from people literally. Like, I'm good.
Why? Why do you think that is?
I don't know, because I don't know. I think I'm a lot like
listen, man. Let me remind you of something. You tackled the freaking quarterback and ended the game, and we won the national championship as a result.
Yeah, but I had 10
you went
guys
on to play in the NFL. You got drafted in, dude. Like, come on, man.
No, I'm with you. But again, that's like the story I told you that Mr. Bruton Smith told me. A friend of mine down in the Carolinas area that I had a chance to meet, who really put me on a lot of game, NASCAR and just business. Yeah, it's about finding different groups to be associated with. One of the greatest things he told me was, hey, Cie, who's all in your group? Who's all in your circle? And in that circle, are you the one who's always, dishing out advice or money or whatever the heck it is that's needed to others? Yeah. And I got the thing. I said, yeah, that's me. He goes, you need a new group. You need a new group to where you can go and ask questions.
Amen.
Because if you're always emptying out your cup, how the heck are you going to get it refilled? So to answer your question, that's where I'm at right now. I got to get out of the way of myself.
Yeah.
I mean, my pain has changed.
Yeah.
I'm genuine. I'm authentic, and I'm ready. Like there's no fear other than God in this man that you see right now. You know, my mom and dad, you know, man, I have so much to, I have to thank them. I have to thank my sister and my brother. I have to thank my hometown. I have to thank my teammates. I have to thank people who did me good and people who did me wrong. I got to thank everybody. You know what I mean? And and once you realize that when you go through your life and you're like, because originally you think that I have this group that I'm going to thank and this group that I can tell, you know, basically kiss my ass. And you're like, I got to thank everybody because this helped mold me. This helped get me to where I need to be in life. So there's going to be great things. I know that I do a lot of writing. So I would, you know, I've told Mindy this and I've told you this, you know, a book looking at really getting the meat and potatoes of my upbringing. There's not too many people like myself who were brought up the way I was and who's been on the journey that I've been on. I like to also do a biography and then looking to shine some light on this 2002 National Championship Buckeyes team.
Yeah, because I want to touch on something, man. There's like, for those of you watching that don't know, Cie has this amazing hidden talent that in fact, if you Google or look on YouTube for Cie, you will find evidence of what I'm getting ready to bring up, and that is, why don't you tell the story of how Carmen, Ohio, and you being forced to sing Carmen, Ohio. Tell that story, man. What happened?
All right. Coach Tressel, here we go. So we, you know, over the summer, we stay on campus. You know, we're going to be practicing. We go to school. You know, so I had a class, and it was one of those things where I was kind of up against the time. And again, I told you, you know, Coach Tressel is very agenda oriented. He gives you a syllabus. It's, you know, agenda sheet. Let's stay on task. So it's one of those crossroads. Let's just say, I was leaving school. I was leaving campus, and I was hungry. And I was like, man, there's a Wendy's right there on High Street, or I can get to the Foster Center. And it was one of those things where I got in line, and it wasn't like the lines that they have today where you can get in and be like, get out. I was stuck, and I knew I was going to be late. So I finally get my food, and the thing is when those doors close at the Foster Center, they're closed, they're locked. So I was coming through the Foster Center, and right when I'm making a run for the doors, those doors shut and lock. And I'm like, oh man, this is not good. So I got the Wendy's, you know, the Biggie lemonade. I'm like, oh, this is terrible. You know,
had a Biggie lemonade.
Yeah, I had my flip phone. You know, they have already scammed us on campus with the T-shirt and signing up, some credit up. So got the flip phone out. Had somebody, you know, caught somebody who was going to the restroom, kind of slid in. And I thought I was pretty sly and kind of got in one of those auditorium seats, got down in there. And at first I thought I was busted. I was like, oh, man, this is terrible. Because Coach Tressel kind of looked at me. But, you know, business as usual. He wasn't going to stop his flow.
Yeah.
So after a while, I got comfortable. You know, like 45 minutes had went by. I'm like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. No worries. Well,
hitting the Biggie lemonade.
yeah. Eating my junior bacon, you know, trying not to make the paper crumble. You know, I'm probably ignorant about it. It was crumbling.
Oh my God, that's funny.
But anyways, man, when I thought we were going to conclude, Coach Tressel stands up. He goes, "Men."
Oh no.
He goes, "I want to do things the right way around here. Everything the right way. And it's not the big things that'll get you beat. It's the little things." We had a guy who came in today, and he thought he was bigger than the team. And no one's bigger than the team.
Oh, dude.
Like, and, you know, I have the nerve to look around like, man, who's this fool? You know? So anyways, man, he takes his glasses and he puts them on the tip of his nose, and he looks down. He says, "Cie Grant."
Oh.
Yeah. I'm like, oh man, this is terrible. So it was like the walk of shame, that little slope you go down to get in front of the stage, and I'm going out and around, and I got my teammates, hey, giving me a whole bunch of heck.
Yeah.
Going up on the stage, and he said, for that, I'd like for you to sing Carmen, Ohio, because it was written in one. The lyrics were written. But see, what Coach Tressel didn't know was at New Philadelphia, I had a choir teacher named Andrew Call who had left out in 98. I was in the Delphian Chorale, one of the elite singing groups at my high school. Well, at the time, Andrew Call and I were both leaving in 98 New Philly to go to The Ohio State. I was going on scholarship, and he was going to be a part of music in the men's glee club. So just months prior to that, Andrew, Mr. Call, has sent me a disc with Hang On Sloopy, a bunch of songs that correlate with The Ohio State.
Yeah.
Carmen being one of them. So it was a song that I listened to, and I was like, I kind of like that. Like, I'm putting my own spin on that. So it was crazy. Now back to that moment, he's like, you're going to sing Carmen, Ohio. And so I was like, Coach, I'll sing it, but I got to be able to sing it my way. And he says, you make it respectful. You sing it how you want. And I said, wow. Man, and I got there, and I had guys, I'm taking that deep breath. It's 100 some guys out there, and I'm catching hell from the seniors in the front row. Yeah, what are you gonna do now? I had that little escape, and so I sung it, and when I was done, I was looking around. You could hear a pin drop. I mean, you could definitely hear a pin drop. No one was giving me a bunch of slack.
Nothing.
Walked back to my seat. Guys looked around. Coach Tressel kind of looked around. He was like, "We're gonna break it down." Then he broke it down, and it was just a crazy experience. The guys.
Coach Tressel's like, "Let's get him another Biggie lemonade."
Hey man, but it was just, it just so happened to be that time. Any other time, man, he can get you. But just, it shows you, and then, so I thought I was done with it that one time, and then we were going to play our next game, and on Fridays, Coach addresses the team and tells our last second plans, what's tomorrow's layout going to be. He says, "See, break us down. We're going to break down on that." So what we did was we broke down on Carmen, Ohio every night before our game.
Wow!
And so that just took us, like, once we won it, Craig Krenzel came up to me at the celebration. I mean, it's cold, and he was like, "You got to do it." I'm like, dude, like, I'm cold, He's cold. Like, no. Yeah. He's like, man, you gotta sing it. You gotta let the world know.
Yeah.
And the next thing I know, Mr. Andy Geiger's like, we have something special.
Wow. Dude, that is so amazing. All right. Hey, now I would be remiss if I didn't say, I really would love it if you blessed us with singing Carmen, Ohio, and I'll give you full stage, man. Would you do it?
Yeah, let's do it.
Dude, you rock, man. And this was not planned, by the way.
Yeah, not planned.
Get it hit the water.
Yeah, look at me.
Come on, man. This is going to be great. I'm going to give you full stage. Here we go. Cie Grant singing Carmen, Ohio for us. Here we go.
Yeah, I appreciate all you listeners today. I hope you enjoyed this time that Ken and I had today. But here we go, Carmen, Ohio. It's for the great state of Ohio, Buckeye Nation. Oh, come. Hold on. Let's redo it. All right, there we go. Oh, come, let's sing Ohio's praise and songs through alma mater reign, while our hearts rebounding thrill and joy which death alone can still. summer's heat or winter's cold. The seasons pass, the years will roll. Time and change will surely show how firm thy friendship. Ohio. Go Bucks.
Oh my God, dude. That was freaking amazing. Oh my God.
Yeah, I almost choked.
Oh, dude. That was freaking amazing. Oh my God. Dude, you brought tears to my eyes doing that.
No, hey, listen. I had tears in my eyes. I almost choked, literally. I was panicking a little bit saying that, but no. Anything for Buckeye Nation.
Wow, dude.
Man, I'm one of the guys, I have friends who are, former teammates, man. They talk to me, but I'm different, man. I'm not tied to anything. I'm tied to my God and my thoughts. And so that'll, so that's why even on Twitter and social media sites, I'm free.
Yeah.
I'm free. I don't have to worry about like, oh, if I hit send, I don't care. Ken, you know that. You get to that point in life, it's just like you were saying with your mom, like, listen, I've been through too damn much.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate this time. I appreciate my journey. I appreciate the people who did me good. I appreciate the people who did me bad. I appreciate everybody because it all goes into the life of this guy named Cie Grant, man, who came from a small town, New Philadelphia, Ohio, out near Amish country, who had a dream. At the end of the day, who had a dream. And it wasn't easy, man. We didn't go into all the details, but we went into enough of them to add on for, later projects. But I'm telling you, man, I have a story to tell. And that's really where I'm at in my life. Outside of, being married and raising my kids, I have a strong urgency. Coach Trussell always talks about the urgency of now. And I have an urgency of right now. Not a day of life is promised. I've seen brothers who are stronger than life who have laid still gone. And so I know not a day is promised. I talk about that daily. I talk about, there's no friend like my friend, my Lord and Savior, Jesus. A man will fail you. My mother has never failed me, but the day that she had to lay it to rest, there were times after that I wish I could have called. And so God is so consistent yesterday, today, and tomorrow. And he's truly someone who I've been fragile. So when you're fragile, you must connect and attach your everything to something consistent, and there's no rock like him. And so I just pray to God that this will be the start of something great. I have so much that I want to share. I got to get out of the way of myself. And this is what you told me: take your foot off the brake. Take your foot off the brake. And that's what I'm working on. And so I'm gonna.
And hey, you gotta look at it from my perspective for a minute. Do you know what it felt like telling the great Cie Grant to take his foot off the damn brake? I mean, I was like, I can't lecture Cie Grant.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
But like, dude, that's what. But look, I love your story. I love your message, and I think that you have, man, you have greatness in you that you haven't even freaking touched. Right. You haven't even touched, man. And I think everybody watching right now knows that Ted Dryden is a 96 Dover grad. Look at that, huh?
Hey, I'm not gonna say go Tornadoes or something like that. But no, hey, how you doing?
But hey, man, dude, I freaking love your story. I am honored, and I mean honored. And everybody on here, especially if you're a good friend of mine, look Cie Grant up on Facebook. There's a picture of him and his son standing in the end zone, I think, right?
Yes.
And send him a friend request. I'm pushing Cie.
Hey, I appreciate
big. Follow him on Twitter too.
That's at Cie Grant.
Yeah.
But no, man,
yeah,
I'm going to get out of my way. Guys, continue to listen to Ken. And he's full of information, knowledge that is definitely priceless. Like I said, I'm only surrounding myself with genuine, authentic people. You fit that bill, and just looking forward to doing great things moving forward with you.
Thank you, man. Likewise. So stay with me. I'm going to end the live stream, but stay on here. I'm going to put us both backstage while I play the outro, but and you and I'll finish up here real quick. But thank you to everyone who's watched and who listened to Cie Grant's story. You got blessed with hearing him sing Carmen, Ohio. Dude, you're a rock star, man. We're gonna do some great things together. So thank you. And
can I say this?
Yeah, please.
Hey, Buckeye Nation, listen. I think that's the first time that I've been asked to sing that I almost like literally choked. And I had to hold on for dear life. I love the Ohio State. A lot of people say that. I love it. I love the brotherhood. And I just, I hope one day when it's all said and done, my mother always says, see, and she told all of her kids this, don't be a floating soul. Make sure that wherever you're at, you make an impact. And so I hope I've made an impact during my time there to where you guys can smile while I'm here and long after I'm gone. So keep the stories going, pass them down to generations. Listen to Carmen, Ohio. It's not just about the 2002 team. It's about the greatest state there is, the Ohio State, Buckeye Nation, great state of Ohio, 100.
Wow. Love it, dude. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Everybody go follow Cie Grant and hey, keep your eyes open because this man's about to do some great things. So we will see you all later. Cie, thanks so much, brother. I appreciate you, man.
Great feedback. Thank you, sir.
All right. See you. Stay on here though.
I'm on.
Okay.